Hello Animorphs fans and welcome back to the Animorphs Reviews YouTube channel. Today we're going to have a think, okay? I've got most books here, 62 books, the series excluding Alternomorphs. And we're going to decide which of these books the TV series would have been able to do were it not cancelled. So we're going to go through everyone and decide whether it goes in the yes or the no pile or the they've already done it pile. So it's going to be essentially 3 piles. What are we going to assume about the TV series? Well, we're going to keep the same limitations that it appeared the TV series had. So we've got a small budget, we have no Taxons, the aliens are made of these pretty ugly looking puppets, they can't go underwater. How I know that is because look at the episode The Message where they rescue Axe. They didn't go underwater, they went to a factory. So they can't go to certain places where the budget will not allow them to go or the technology would not have allowed them to do. There's no CGI, there's like certain special effects like the Dracon beam things, but it's very limited. And obviously you can't have Big Jim, the gorilla, you can only have certain morphs. So that's the set of boundaries we've set ourselves, okay? So it's as if the Animorphs TV series wasn't cancelled and they were told, do as many of the books from the series as you can. Which ones do I think they would be able to pull off to some level of satisfaction? So let's start. Book 1, The Invasion. They already did it. And that's going to go there. That's that pile. And they did it alright. Not too bad. Could have been better. But it's probably one of the more successful ones they did. Same goes with Book 2, The Visitor. The whole Melissa Chapman plot, they stretched out over a couple of episodes, but the main gist of it, they did alright. They kept it pretty close to how it went in the books. That again goes on they already did that to a satisfactory level pile for me. Book 3, The Encounter, where they find a big lake, morph trout, and there's a massive bugger off ship. Tobias flies into them all and tries to smash himself on a pane of glass, and they spend half the book running around as wolves. And they get into a wolf fight. I'm going to put this in the no pile. So this here is the no pile. The yes pile's going to go there. This is the no pile. I don't think it would have been able to do that. And it didn't, funnily enough. Number 4, The Message. They did this. Did they do it to a satisfactory level?
It was shit.
It was shit, yeah. But we can safely say they covered the main stuff. So I'm going to put it on the they've done that pile. It's over there. Number 5, The Predator. Again, they've done this. There was a dual episode called The Leader, about halfway through the run of the series. And they actually went up to a ship. They went up to the ship and that's where Marco saw his mum. The rest of the plot, it's pain. It is painful. And they sort of combine it with Book 7, The Stranger. I'm going to put that on the yes pile again. They've done that. Okay? They've done that. To a relatively satisfactory degree. The Capture is another one of those, and it's one of the better ones. So that's definitely going on the yes pile. The Stranger. As mentioned, they kind of covered this in The Leader, but it was bad. And they also found the Elemist, but in a completely different way. So yeah, they've cut this story into various bits and just planted it into other episodes. For that reason, I'm going to say that they've done it. Not very satisfactorily at all, but they've done it. Okay? Number 8, The Alien. They've done it, and it wasn't bad. It stuck pretty close to the script, so that again, this part's big. Basically, the first books of the series are mostly falling onto that. This one will not, though. The Secret. So, could they have pulled off this storyline? There's a lot of skunk stuff. They've got a skunk in there. They've got the Dapsum Lumber Company, and it's got this force field around it. And that's pretty much the gist of the book, and there's a lot of character stuff going on. Yeah, They really could have done that one and pulled it off. So that's going the first book into that particular pile. I ought to make it... I'll show you it at the end. So that's the first one in the they didn't do it, but I think they could have done it pile. The Android. They did this one, but in a really, really bad way. Because the Pemlite Crystal was there. Yeah, I'm going to put it there just about on the they've already done it pile. So we've actually got quite a few of them from the first 10 books. There's quite a few that they've done to varying degrees of satisfaction for me. Number 11, The Forgotten, where they hit a Sario rip and end up in the Amazon rainforest. That's a no. They can't do that. Not on the budget. That goes in the they haven't done it and they shouldn't even try to do it pile. The Reaction. They did it. And it was pretty faithful, apart from the whole breaking down a house, because she morphs elephant in a house and breaks it. But I think they can be safely satisfied that they've done that. That goes on the they've done that pile. The Change. They've done bits of it. Obviously, the Hawk-Bajir storyline is missing, and it required the Andalites disc. So, as far as I'm concerned, they haven't done this book. Could they do it? It would rely a lot on the Hawk-Bajir suits. The Hawk-Bajir didn't even talk in the series. They just sort of went... Rah, 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 rah. And you'd need to have the valley. You could do all the forest stuff easily. It's the Hawk-Bajir that's the main problem. The Tobias storyline on the side could have been pulled off. But basically anything Hawk-Bajir, because of the limitations of the TV series and the fact that the costumes are so crap and they didn't even speak, that goes in the no, they couldn't have pulled that off pile. They couldn't have pulled it off. They could have trying to get that costume to act like Jara and Ket. It just would have been absolutely shocking. It would have been pointless. Number 14, The Unknown, where they go out into the desert as horses. They enter a race and have a bit of fun with that. And then they end up in a water park being chased by Captain Torelli. It's the Area 51 book, from what I remember. It depends on whether you think the makers of the TV series would have had the budget to travel a bit further afield than the forest that they always went into. And I don't think they did. They were limited to that place, where there's like a bit of woodland in Canada and a small town. And they had a few shooting locations. They didn't have a desert. So it comes down to that. I suppose you could just change the area from Area 51. But then you'd have the racehorse problem. They have to race horses. Or you could just cut that little bit out. Go for it. Yeah, go for it. You can do something with that, okay? Then again, they'd have to hire out a water park. I reckon they could do it. You know, Nickelodeon. They'll be like, yeah, we've got a water park somewhere. You freaking have fun with that. And go for it. Why not? You can just about probably pull something out of the hat with that one. The Escape, underwater, Lyrans, absolutely not. You're not pulling that off. Book 16, The Warning. You'd need to find a big house, which you can do. You'd need to go on an airplane, which I don't think is too far-fetched. Rhinoceros. Don't think you've got one of them. Funnily enough, I don't think so. Possibly, but we didn't see it. What else happens in this one? You got the internet chat rooms. They've got chat rooms on the TV show. They could do something with this. They could do that. Straight on the yes, they could give that a bloody good shot pile. The Underground. They tried it. It was almost as bad as the book. That goes on the they've done that pile. It's one of the only times an episode's probably been better than the actual book. 18, The Decision. They go into zero space, and then they go on a ship, and then they go onto the Lyran planet, and then mosquitoes. That goes on the no. That goes on the solid no pile. 19, The Departure. Definite yes, I think. Why not? Well, what's stopping you? You got the cheetah bit? No, it's not a cheetah bit. It's the mountain lion bit. But that bit was pointless in the book anyway. Well, not so much pointless, but you can just replace it with something else. Cassie has one too many fights, decides to quit, finds a Karen, and goes off on a merry woodland adventure, and then morphs a caterpillar. Yeah, why didn't you do that? Literally, why didn't you do that TV series? Come on. That's got to be... It's one of the most popular books in the series. It would be freaking easy for you to do with what you've got. And you didn't touch it? Shocking. That's definitely on the S pile. The David stuff was not in the series. What happened in the Discovery? You could definitely have a David thing. But would it be too brutal for television? That's another thing you have to think about. The whole trapping David as a white rat thing. If, you know, they were a bit lenient and said, yeah, you can have that storyline. Let's go with that. So the Discovery. David finds the blue box, goes home. There's a big scuffle in David's bedroom. The Animorphs rescue him. And they have the president's thing. Yeah, you can pull... We've got to do this as a 3-parter, haven't we? So you've also got the threat in there and the solution. Honestly, I think you can do a small version. Obviously take out the more extreme stuff in there, like all the helicopter stuff. You could do that. Just, it's mostly about David anyway. It's a very character-based set of books. So yeah, why not? Get cracking, lads. Chop chop. Book 23, The Pretender. Again, we sort of got this in the series, but it was just the part where Elfangor said, I am your father. Oh. What else happened in this? Well, you got the big Hawk-Bajir subplot, so that's already looking like a no. Got the, God, was it Arya? Yeah, Arya. And what Tobias's relatives, turns out it's Vista 3. You got a big part of the plot in this is the Hawk-Bajir stuff. If you just take the Hawk-Bajir stuff out and concentrate on the other bits, you could probably make an episode of that. So it's going tentatively in the yes pile. The suspicion, the Helmicrons, shrinking themselves, fighting on Axe's leg, anteaters. Yeah, basically anything with aliens in it goes in the no pile, which is a shocking state of affairs, really, for a sci-fi show. No. The Extreme. No. New aliens that melt, go into the frickin' North Pole. Yeah, no, you're going in that pile. The Attack. Another alien one, and they go to Legoland. No. The Exposed. Underwater shenanigans. Could they change it so that the Chi base isn't underwater, but it's somewhere else? It would be a bit shit. Could they do that? The whole squid thing. Basically, it'd just be a plot of, oh, the Chi's technology is fucking up. We've got to get to this place before the Yerks. And then that's that. Which, yeah, go on, you can pull that off. You just got to change the settings and the morphs entirely. So it'd be almost like a completely different book. The Experiment with the cows and the monkeys. It's a filler book. Could it be... What are you doing over there, Mercia? Could it be a filler episode? Cows. Yeah, you could... I'm sure Michael Hackenberger had a cow or two. That goes in the yes, they could have had a go at that pile. About halfway through now. The Sickness. Aftran. And they go through the water pipes. There's the Trier gland thing. And Cassie performs brain surgery. I think they could have tried it. They could have tried it. It probably would have been shit, but they could have tried it. The Reunion. So, more Hawk-Bajir stuff. More Chi holograms. It would have been a complete rewrite. It basically wouldn't have been the same book. So for that reason, you're going on the no pile. Basically, anything but Hawk-Bajir at this point. 31, The Conspiracy. Yes. What stops it? It's a very character-based one. It's about Jake and Tom. They go to a cabin in the woods, which I'm pretty sure they could have found And there's a knife, and there's the Grandpa G stuff. Yeah, straight on the yes pile. Could have given that a go. The separation, but please just don't. But Rachel gets cut in half. There's a mean and nice Rachel. To be fair to this book, if it got turned into a TV episode, it probably would have been quite a fun episode. So there'd be two Rachels, one really mean and one really nice. Yeah, if they just worked with that plot, it would be filler, but it actually might be quite fun. Go on then, series. Give the separation a go. You can do that. Notice how we've pretty much run out of books that they've tried at this point. That pile's done. For now. The Illusion, a shit book. Would it have made a TV series episode? So Tobias gets tortured for an hour. They can't put a hawk in a box, honestly, and they wouldn't have been able to convincingly torture it. They can do the sharing stuff. You'd have Taylor in there. But yeah, it would hinge on the torture scenes, and you can't do that to a hawk. It would have to be a really short scene and an implied torture. I suppose you could try it. The whole community centre stuff could work. Honestly, I wouldn't like to see this as an episode because it was so crap, but yeah, I suppose they could do a really limited version, but get the same message across. Number 34, The Prophecy. No. Number 35, The Proposal. Euclid the Poodle. Basically a carbon copy of book 12, The Reaction. And so for that reason, you go on the yes pile. I'm sure they could source some cockatiels. That wouldn't be too much of a problem. The Mutation. No. Some of these I don't even need to give an explanation for. 37, The Weakness. This ripped book. New Alien, the Garrotron. Fighting throughout the book with battle morphs and just getting a guy killed. Flying a plane into a building. Even just on a theory, hypothetical version, it's a no. 38, The Arrival. You're going to have to make some more Andalite suits. They'd make quite a few Andalite suits and a female one. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Just see how far they could take the Andalite suit thing. They did have a few Andalite suits. So it probably wouldn't be too much of a stretch for them to just change them up a bit. Apart from that, there's a lot of alien stuff going on, but I reckon they could actually do that. To a very limited degree, and it probably wouldn't play very well, but give it a go, TV series. At the moment, the yes is bigger than the no pile, which is unusual. I think that might change, though. The Hidden. The one where the buffalo gets the power to morph. Okay. Could they pull this? I don't think they can. It's just a fight. The whole book is just fighting and a buffalo morphing. And acting strangely. Yeah, I don't think so, and you probably shouldn't do it anyway. 40, The Other. You'd need to make 2 more Andalite suits. And you've got bees. But the Andalites can be in human morph for most of the time. I reckon you could. Yeah, don't see why you can't. Book 41, The Familiar. Dystopian Future. I don't think they have the money for the sets or the extra aliens. Or an older Jake. You'd have to recast him. No. 42, The Journey. More Helmicrons. Going inside Marco's body, it's a no. 43, The Test. Heavily based on Taxons. No. Because Taxons don't exist in the TV series. Book 44, The Unexpected. The Great Trip to Australia. I was thinking about this one earlier. And I thought, no, they can't afford to go to Australia. But if they just changed the scenery a little bit and said it was a different place altogether, far away from the Animorphs, then you could pull it off. It's changed the scenery a bit. So yeah, on you go. And you can have Cassie in a plane. We hired a plane out for book 16. Keep up. Book 45, The Revelation. A really crap book, and I'm trying to remember what the frick happened in it, which says a lot. I think you could, because it's mostly just Marco's dad being discovered, them rescuing Marco's dad and taking him somewhere. But then you get the bit in the Yerk pool, which was just complete shit. They stole a bug fighter and flew it into the pool. Such a shit book. Punch you. And I suppose a lot of the plot points you could cover, just get rid of the shit, and you go in the yes pile. Book 46, The Deception, on an American warship, where you steal a plane and threaten a nuclear... No. So we've got a double booker. This is going to be a problem. But to be fair, are they both no's? Because you're going to need Super Rachel, which I don't think they could pull off very well. It would be a bit cringe in the TV show. Then you've got David as the rat. You've got the Crayak and the Drode. But they didn't have a Drode in the show. They didn't even have Crayak, I don't think. And the Resistance is Hawkbajir heavy. And you'd have to recast for the whole Isaiah Fitzhenry stuff. So both of those books fall in the no. And now we're level. The piles have leveled up. The Diversion and the Ultimate. So the Diversion was the Tobias one where they found Lauren. Is that possible? I think that plot is largely possible. And then you've got the Ultimate where they find the disabled kids. You're going to have to do a bit more casting. But again, I reckon you could pull that off. Both of those go in the yes pile. The Absolute and the Sacrifice. They'd have to go to a big building for the governor, and it's a set piece heavy thing. You've got the train. I think there's too much going on for the Absolute. The Sacrifice, where they bomb the Yerk pool with a train. There's a lot of Hawkbajir stuff that goes on as well, because they're in the Hawkbajir Valley at this point, so that would have to be out the window. Nah, I think both of them go on the no. Sorry. And then the answer in the beginning, the answer is quite taxon heavy, so it's leaning towards no. Again, you're in the Hawkbajir Valley, and then you end up on the pool ship with a big fight, more taxon involvement, lots of explosions. It's getting a bit too epic now for the TV series to keep up. It would not be able to pull either of these books off. No. Even like the stuff after the war, I don't think the actors have aged enough, and because of some of the stuff that you miss out, it just wouldn't be the same. So that goes on there, both of those. There are more books though. Megamorphs 1. They tried it sort of, but without the I'm going to put that on the they've already done that pile. They did it, but you didn't get the Valik in there, which is a shame. They couldn't have pulled that off, definitely. In the Time of Dinosaurs, they don't have frickin' dinosaurs, so that's a no. Elfangor's Secret, where they travel back in time with use of the Ellimist, what was it again? So they could use the Ellimist in the TV series because he's obviously already there. You'd probably have to use quite a bit of a budget to hire actors to act out the various scenes throughout history. I think you could give it a go. I think you could. And it might be quite interesting as well. Back to Before. Now, funnily enough, the series actually did this before, I believe, the book series did. They did it in quite a different way in terms of plot. Could they do this? They basically did it, so I'm going to put it on that pile. They did it with a completely different plot, like different stuff happened, but they did the premise, which for that book is basically the whole book, is just the idea of it. The Ellimist Chronicles. Slap that on the no pile. And like Chronicles, slap that on the no pile. Hawkbajir Chronicles, definitely slap that on the no pile. Visser, the last one, definitely slap that on the yes pile. Why? Because it's largely around humans. The Hawkbajir control stuff you can sort of work with at the start if you keep it quite small. Council of 13, just get a Hawkbajir and put a cloak over its head, like Garoth had and the other Council of 13 members had. You can cover them up with cloaks and shit, And then you've just got Eugene Lipinski and whoever played Eva in the council chamber, remembering stuff from the past with Hildy. You could pull that off, because you could do it mostly with humans. There are a few bits that you have to take out, but actually give that a go. So these are the two piles. You've got the pile back here, which is about up to here, of books they've already done. And then it's actually quite even. The problem is, all the ending books are in here. They wouldn't have been able to pull off a satisfactory ending, at least keeping close to the actual canon. But actually there's quite a few books here. Look at that. That's the pile of books that I think the TV show could have given a pretty good shot at had they continued, that they hadn't already done. What do you think? Do you agree with me on these books? Some of them, all of them, few of them, none of them? Do you agree with any of the choices I've made here today? I just think it's been a fun little exercise. I hope you agree. Well, Animorphs books, you're going back up there on the shelf. Thank you everybody for watching, and leave your comments down below, do all the subscribe shit, yada yada yada, and I shall see you next time. Ta-ra.